Amazing how much moisture is in this soil. So we run this Browns set of tine harrows with a stock seeder unit on it. I've had another breakdown. Right, so just sort of fold the power harrow. I put this new cord on this morning before we came. See how that's... Just use that to pull, to lift those little securing hooks up. Then we can drop her down. These folding power harrows are so handy because you obviously get that extra width without having the either having to put it onto a trailer or end tow it in some way. So we like this folding kit now. We're going a bit wider with stuff. They're good. So I'm just going to set the... I don't want the machine lifting up too high. So you look at the angle of the PTO. That power takeoff there is on a horrible angle. So we can just set that on the link arms. So it only lifts up that high. So that'll clear the ground at the headlands, but it's not lifting on such a horrible angle for the PTO. Just set the guidance up. Hopefully, I'm not going to go straight to the hedge. We'll set that up to this machine now so it knows that we've got a 4 metre power harrow on, having a 10 centimetre overlap just to make sure we cover it, because we are only on Starfire 1. I don't pay for the Starfire 3 or whatever the next one up is, because we're not doing real precision planting work and stuff like that where it would matter for that level of accuracy. Just bob along like that now. It's amazing how much moisture is in this soil. It's really good. You see it's a little bit cloddy still with the little tufts of grass and stuff because it's been such a long time since it was sprayed off. So, power harrowed that a couple of times. It's looking a lot flatter. It's got a nice seed bed. Still, it's drying out. There's still moisture in there though, which is good. So that's gone pretty well. It feels looking much flatter now. I'm going to go and get the roller and the seeder. Paul's going to give it a roll. I'll seed it and he'll roll it again. I've had another breakdown, another problem. Look at this. So I've lost that coupling off the hydraulic top link. Really, really frustrating. As I was going down this dip, power harrow's dropping in low. That's caught on the PTO guard, which has bent the PTO guard. Fortunately, there's a check valve in there, so I've just had to have it on a short PTO and just managed to make the most of it and just keep going. It's a bit tricky to get the best finish, but I've managed to make it work. But that shouldn't be like that. That needs to be sat, that coupling should be round here on the side so that that doesn't crash that. I'm as frustrated with myself as I'm John Deere for him coming out like that, because on the 185 we had exactly the same thing happen and we ended up twisting that valve block round to stop that crash, that exact problem. And I've never noticed on the new tractor, and it's just got bent under the PTO guard. So why? The ergonomics of those top links, they're not set up right from factory, because that's the second tractor I've had now where I've done the same thing, which is frustrating for me. But yeah, I should have thought about it. I should have noticed it when we got the tractor. But then, to be fair, they shouldn't come out like that. So yeah, bit frustrated. So we're going to try and bend that, straighten that PTO guard. Paul's just whipped off to get another pipe for the top link, and then we'll twist that round and try and solve that problem. But yeah, I can't believe I'm the first person that that's happened to. So if you've had the same experience, the same thing with a John Deere hydraulic top links, please let me know. Ugh. There's a nice boulder here. Yeah. Bit of stone picking. Hopefully that'll hold this ridiculous gate back, which I'm struggling with to get out of the field. That solved it. So we run this Browns set of tine harrows with a stock seeder unit on it. Just realised that the power lead goes direct from the battery for the seeder unit is on the other tractor. So we're going to have to make another seeder looped out on that. It'll do that. So I'm hoping I've got all the things I need to make up another power lead to go from the battery back through. And at least this tractor's sorted out for it as well. Right, after high drama, I found the Andison plug that I was needing. So we've got this cable running through, this big cable running back to the battery, running through here now. And what we do on these is just put an Andison connection on the end of it. Blinking big cable to cut through. So this takes power direct from the battery, obviously through a bladed fuse that we'll solder in, and that gives us decent capacity then to run the fan. I favour these. I'd like a sort of waterproof connector of some sort, sort of like a box that I could have bolted on here. Would be really nice. But I can't find any sort of like waterproof housing, sort of like, you know, the female plug unit or socket unit that'll work. So I've just been using these Andison connections. I just tuck it in behind here, and it's worked on the other tractor. This is quite frustrating because, to be honest, I thought this tractor had got the plug on it for the seeder, but it hasn't. It's on the one that Luke's taken. Anyway, so we can get this whizzed on. You've got the crimping tools there, please, Paul. Obviously, we don't need the earth wire. I'm pretty sure these fencing ones on the smallest hole so we've got that on. We'll just cable tie that wire up in here somewhere. So we've got a wire here now which is just attached to the tractor. Seeder can plug straight into it. Happy days. That should get us going. So we're going to calibrate the drill now. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put some seed in the top of the drill. Sometimes you can pull these strings on these bags and it all goes zzz and comes off nicely. And other times it doesn't. I think this is one of those other times where it doesn't. Grass in hopper. Tray under. 3, 2, 1. So run this for 30 seconds now, changing the controls in the cab, which varies the speed of the motor turning, delivering the seed. I don't know, I can't get rid of that high-pitched noise at the moment, which is awful. So now we can weigh that seed. 426 times 2 is for a minute, times 3, so that would be 2.5 kilos. If that ran for 3 minutes, it would have put out 2.5 kilos of seed. If I did a forward speed of, we're on 6 metre width drill, 8 kilometres an hour. If I'd have collected 2.4 kilos then, I'd be putting on 10 kilos to the hectare. So at 2.4, so we're putting a little bit more than 10 kilos to the hectare. So we're at about half the seed rate per hectare of where we want to be, which means I can go over the field twice. Paul's just unfolding the rollers. Looking at them, that they could just do with tightening them up a bit on the side, I think. So I'll just firm this ground up. To see a difference here where I'm walking, fluffy, but then here where it's just been over the roller, quite a lot firmer already. So just going to give one pass with those and I'll go over and seed it. And then he's going to pop back and get the flat roller. We thought we should go over it with a Cambridge roller first. It just helps level the ground. I know we haven't got any levelling boards on the front of it, but it's surprising how just the lines between the Power Harrow passes, a bit of extra width on that roller will just help level it a bit more. Stay off that electric pole there's a pain. It just sticks out. It's really, you've got like bright yellow up the top and then a bit of barbed wire, but right at the bottom where it comes into the ground, there's like no marker at all. Really difficult to see. Just going to back up into this little corner now. Stone here, I suppose. We're lucky on this ground, this part of the world where we are in Cheshire, we don't suffer from a hell of a lot of stone. We were down at Cereals event last week and looking at that ground of Andrew Ward's, the amount of stone that's just chucked up through cultivation work on there is just unbelievable. Like, you can really see how machinery wearing parts, how you get through on that sort of ground compared to what we're on. Kicking up a bit of dust. Right, we'll get the seeder and get that unfolded. So we've got a modification to do on this seeder, so it's kind of good to get out with it today before the season starts in full earnest. Some of the seeds we've been using on some of the SFI ground for clients has got quite a lot of different types of seed in it. And we get a few blockages on this seeder system where the wide pieces are. There was little tiny bits of chaff getting stuck in there. It's amazing, just an odd little piece of chaff just gets stuck in one of the wide pieces, then it builds up and blocks. It was a bit of a pain last season. We've got quite a lot more of that to do again this year. We saw the guys from Stocks at Lama earlier in the year, and they've redeveloped the outlets on these now so we can get a wider fan. So therefore we don't need the wide pieces, we can just have basically half the number of outlets on this 6 metre seeder, and that will take care of it. So we won't get any blockages then. It'll be a straight pipe from the manifold straight down into the spreader plates on this wide angle spreaders. So I've got all that at the yard. So we'll put this in an accessible place. And that's going to be one of the rainy day jobs, is going and sorting that out. Here the seeder quickly now, it's unfolded. You see we've got this big row of tines on the back. They'll harrow grass, but they're also act as a covering tine just to disturb the soil when we're putting the seed in. And that just gives a little bit of coverage to it. We should be able to see in here somewhere. Yeah, you see grass seed here. Takes a bit of finding. But yeah, it's there. The seed's coming out of the tank. There's a fan in there that blows the seed. The seed goes through a metering wheel, blows it through a fan. It blows through these pipes, and then the seed's travelling down here all the way through the pipe, splits at this point, and then sends the seed out at these little plates, and that just what fans out and distributes it. And this is the problems where we were having last year with some seed with some chaff in it. It was blocking in this Y section, so we're going to do away with that and just have individual pipes to a wider spreader bar. So we'll effectively have half the number of spreader bars, but just each one will have a bit more air pressure and a wider angle of distribution, so we shouldn't get blockages with some of the problem seeds. It's a relatively straightforward system, really. You know, the seeds getting blown down the pipes, spread out, harrowed in. You know, there is some sophistication in it with the radar, sort of the speed controls, that's picking up the tractor's speed and adjusting the fan power and the metering wheels accordingly, so that it will maintain the same seed rate that you've calibrated it for. We just drop it down now on the hydraulics. You can just jump up the steps. So nice steps here. We can see into the hopper. Just see what seed we've got left. And there you go. So we've used about half the seed, maybe just over. I'm just going to go over the field again now. Just that we distribute it over it twice. That's bobbing along quite nicely. It's got flat on here now after we've worked it with the rotovator and a couple of 3 passes with the Power Harrow. Controlling at 8k on this. And after Paul's rolled it, we're not bouncing around. I know 8k is not fast, but the field's feeling really quite nice. I like to run it at a half seed rate and just go over it twice on this. We'll get slight different angles in the first pass, and then if you're ever in a situation where a nozzle blocks or anything, the chances are you're not going to get a real big miss on the field. And I think you just get a slightly thicker coverage or better, more even coverage on the field. Let us know in the comments whether you do that or whether you just go at it full application rate, 1 pass. But I like to do it with 2 passes at half rate. So Paul's just going to head off the field now and go pick the flat roller up. By the time he gets back, I'll have easily finished this field. Paul there just folding the roller up. So it lifts it off the ground and then swings the rolls in. Transport. We did borrow some once off a friend, and those rolls folded up vertically. So rather than like that and they took on top of each other, these rolls just folded right up in the air. I mean, they were fine. We never tipped them over or anything, but when you're travelling down the road, you did feel like they were the most unstable things in the world. You had to be a bit careful with them. I wasn't a great fan. It's one of the reasons why we decided on those heaver set, whether they fold up nice and neatly like that. And the low centre of gravity, as you can see. Yeah, they're nice and stable. We did have 2 new tyres on that last year. Yeah, the tyres are getting a bit perished. There's a heck of a lot of weight in that. It's really easy to forget on your implement tyres and stuff. You just pull them out of the shed and off you jog, and yeah, well worth checking the implement tyres ahead of the season that you're going to be using them, because it's surprising how they do perish over time. Now, it's not like a trailer tyre. Trailer tyres, if you get doing a lot of work on them, they generally wear out before they're going to perish, but on an implement tyre, it can do decades because it's not doing a lot of travelling around, and then suddenly find that they're perished and dangerous. Now, by my reckoning, that should be nearly empty. Let's have a little look at the hopper. Oh yeah, look at that. That'll do, won't it? Nicely. So the calibration worked well. We've put enough seed in to do the field twice over, basically a half seed rate each time. Got a little tiny bit left in there now. Almost nothing. We can change the speed of the measuring wheels. So just turn that up quite high, and that'll just chuff the seed out much faster. Well, there's no seed coming up now. I think we've turning that up. I think we've blown most of that seed out. We're all done, finished sowing, so we can just fold the machine up back into its transport position. Dead neat. I've got the stay bar at the gate. There's like a tie bar, safety bar to stop it in case I'm guessing in case a hydraulic pipe burst or anything like that while you're on the road, it wouldn't allow one of these wings to fold down. So we'll just get that from the gate and pop that back on. So you can see that safety bar just clips in between up here. That way, should one of these hydraulic pipes burst, if this ran, the whole of that wing can't come crashing down while you're on the road. But I can't find anywhere to put that while you're working other than the bottom of the hedge. You'd have thought there'd be somewhere on the machine that would clip when you were in work mode, just to stow it away. So here's Paul on the way back to the field again. Just met him. He's on the 215 with Fleming Ento roller. So he's going to go back now and roll that grass seed in with a flat roller, try and lock the moisture in. Got a bit of a queue of traffic behind him. And I'm going to get back to the yard now, grab the 6R185. Luke's putting the mower on. I'm going to go and mow hay. Yeah, so I'm going to go back to the yard now. Paul's gone back to the field with the flat roller. He's going to get that rolled. Luke's getting the mower on the 6R185. I'm going to go off mowing this evening. We're going to mow all our hay grounds because we've got heckishly good weather forecast. And then Paul's going to go back to the yard, bob the tedder on the back of this tractor and follow me round and flick the grass out tonight to save a job in the morning. So probably a bit of a late one. As I say, make hay while the sun shines. Which reminds me, if you've not already seen or you're new to the channel, please take a look at our couple of videos that we did in May, making hay in May, part 1 and 2. Peterson Farm Brothers were dead kind to let us use their music, so we put their parody over it, which was pretty fun. There's a little short there as well, which amused us anyway. Hopefully it amuses you. So yeah, check out some of those videos. If you've not already liked and subscribed, can you please subscribe? It means the world to us. We've had quite a good bit of growth over the last few months now, so from starting our channel up. So if you could subscribe, it'd be great.